go back, though, to WikiLeaks and one on TPP. This one was allegedly from Ron Kaine, who's been helping with debate prep, and it was about the TPP flip-flop. And he says this: she has to be for it. She called it the gold standard of trade agreements. I think opposing that would be a huge flip-flop. She can say that as president she would work to change it. She can say that it can be better, but I think she should support it. Why shouldn't her new position on TPP from the campaign be referred to as a flip-flop? Why isn't it a standard definition of flip-flop?
Well, look, I mean, I'll use my own example. I voted to give the president the fast-track ability to negotiate the best trade deal possible. But at the time I cast that vote in 2015, I said, look, I have a couple of concerns, and you've got to address these concerns because I'm not guaranteeing I'll vote for it on the merits. The concerns weren't addressed. My concerns were largely around enforcement issues. Hillary had the same view, that there were a number of things in it that she liked, but other things she didn't. And as was the case when she was a senator, voted for some trade deals and she voted against others. If they didn't meet her standard of raising the number of jobs, raising wages, and focusing on the enforcement and national security angles, she'd vote against them. And her conclusion about the TPP, which is required to be voted on up or down, no amendments, is that it falls far short of her standards.
Was it a requirement before you joined the ticket that you come out against TPP?
No.
It wasn't at all, because you didn't come out as forcefully until after you joined the ticket.
Well, it was because, look, we're still months away from a vote. I'll tell you where I was. I was in the middle of meeting with various groups about the final product, but I had put on the record in 2015 deep concerns that I had, especially about the enforcement provisions. Those concerns were not addressed. And, you know, I tell you, trade deals, if they're good enough, can be okay, but if you embrace a trade deal that's bad, you deepen people's skepticism about trade in general, and it's better to wait and try to find deals that meet your standards and not embrace deals that are substandard.
You know, after the election, President Obama is going to be traveling overseas, probably talking up the idea of TPP and an Asian trade agreement. If you guys are elected, will you pursue an Asian trade agreement, even if it's not the TPP?
Hillary and I haven't talked about that question directly, Chuck, but look, we aren't against trade. We want to find export markets for American businesses because they'll be able to add workers the more they export. That's very important. And whether it's in Asia or in Europe, if we can find deals that meet those goals, more jobs, higher wages, and good for national security and good enforcement provisions, we're open to them. So, no, you never close the door if you can get a deal that's going to be good for American workers and our economy.
So she could pursue a version.
Again, we haven't talked about that in particular. We are not yet sure what the process is going to be for whether the Republican Senate and House are going to bring TPP up for a vote. We don't know what Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan are going to do. If I'm in the Senate, I'm going to vote against it. So we have to wait and see what they do. But again, Hillary's laid out the standard. A deal has to meet 3 pillars, and if it doesn't, we can't support it, and TPP doesn't.
Do you think it's going to, if you're elected, do you think it'll be appropriate or